All right, it's time to talk numbers. What's going on, everybody? This is Brendan. The channel is Dad Planet, and you are watching the One Man Show. This is the last What Sold on eBay video for the month, and I'm covering the sales that I did from September 16th through the 30th, 15 BOLOs. We're also going to take a look at what I did in gross sales for the entire month. I spent just under $1,300 in cost of goods this month, and it ended strong, so let's take a look. All right, for September 16th through the 30th, 5,200 in gross sales, just under 3,400 in net. My selling cost at 30% and a $57 average sales price, sold 91 items. Here's what I did for the entire month of September: 10.3 and 6.7 gross. My selling cost at 29%. My average sales price 56. Shipping out 183 items. A lot less than last September, but I actually wrote down, just look at since March, these are my sales. This is how consistent my sales have gone. 10,004 in March, 10,000 in April, 10.3 in May, 9,600 in June, 10.7 in July, 10.4 in August, and then 10.3 in September. That's really consistent. So I have no complaints, especially like only working an average of 24 hours a week. I promise you folks, you can do this as one person if that's something that you are aspiring to do. I am proof of that, and I've never seen it go as consistent as it has this year. So all good things. Let's take a look at 15 BOLOs. All right, this first one, the only reason I bought it is because I thought somebody would appreciate the blue color, the ombre style, and it sold really quickly. So is it a BOLO? I don't know. There's not that many comp sales on it, but the brand is BOLO. It's a 5.5 quart stock pot, and it sold for my full asking price of $40. The buyer is $61.09 all in. It cost me $7, and it only took 3 days to sell. I mean, a fast seller, I'll take it. Next item here, I love these. I sell these often. I actually sourced this at the Goodwill outlet, so I found it at the bins, got it home, tested it, it worked perfect. It's the Bun MCU My Cafe Brewer. I sell a lot of these throughout the course of each year, and this sold for my full asking price of $100. The buyer is $118.35 all in. I was probably around 3 or 4 pounds, and you buy by the pound when you're at the outlet. So let's call this between $6 and $8 for my cost of goods, and it only took 5 days to sell. I love this brand for coffee machines, especially the commercial brewers. So this was a good sale. Keep your eye out for it. We're going to stick with Bun here. If you watched one of my previous videos, you saw me not only source this, it cost, I think, $8 for me to source, but we went into Terapeak towards the end of that video, and I showed you why I was going to price this at $80, even though the comparable solds that were recent were selling around the $50, $60. So I was using the UPC as a keyword, and I firmly believe that it is that keyword that was able to get me the $80 price that I asked for this item, and I'm happy that it sold. CSB 3T, this is a speed brew. The thing is super silent when you use it at home. It's one of the quietest coffee machines I've ever heard, and it sold fast. So 80 bucks, this buyer is $109.37 all in. It only took 8 days to sell. Another very fast seller. Again, what can I say more about Bun that I haven't said already? Keep your eye out for both this one and the last one. I actually have another one of these in my inventory right now that I have priced at $80. Okay, this was in another one of my thrift run videos, Playboy Monogram Bag. It is brand new with the tags still attached. I had it priced at $100 and I took an offer of $85. So this buyer is $102.72 all in. I think this bag was $6. It was either $6 or $7, and it only took 3 weeks to sell. So it was another fast seller. It's very hard to find brand new with the tags Playboy anything. So I knew what I had at the time. It may have actually even been cheaper than that. It may have been $5. I don't remember, but $85 is a great sale for this. Keep your eye out for vintage Playboy, the shirts, some of the hoodies, all of that stuff seems to still sell very well, and the bags are no exception. All right, this is another Goodwill Bins find. It was actually given to me by another reseller. She gave me this coat, and I gave her a brand new with tags item. So it's a vintage Woolrich chore jacket. It's gray. It has a nice plaid interior. I think this sold quickly because the size was hard to find. It's a 3XL, and it sold for $75. So this buyer is $102.32 all in. It was probably about 3 pounds, so let's call it $6, and it only took 2 weeks to sell. Another quick seller, perfect timing with winter coming up, and I'm happy to see it go. All right, I sourced this at Goodwill. It's Ralph Lauren Pure Turquoise. Try to say that 3 times fast. That's actually very difficult. So perfume spray. It was 99.9% full. It could have been 100, but the fact that it was open and it didn't have the box, I had to list it new without box. So it's possible that this was never used, but it is what it is. I had it listed for $125. It sold quickly for that price. This buyer is $134.84 all in. It only cost me $4 and it only took 5 days to sell. Fast seller, great scent. Glad to see it go. I paid up for this one. So Fire King Jadeite, it is an 8x8 baking dish. It was in excellent condition, and I think the thrift store knew what they had because they had it priced at $24.99, but I knew that I could sell this very fast because Jadeite just moves so quickly, and there just aren't a lot of the 8x8 sizes on the market, at least on eBay. So I listed it for $80, and that's what it sold for. This buyer is $96.08 all in. It only took 2 days to sell. I'm happy to pay up, even though $25 is more than I would normally pay, but the return is still fantastic, especially when you consider how fast it's sold. So great sale. I love the brand Fin Comfort. It's a slower seller because it's an overseas brand, so it doesn't sell as fast here in the States, but it's a great seller and it sells for a very high price if you're willing to wait. So this is a pair of wool clogs. The style is Fango. They're a US size 6.5, so a little bit on the smaller side, and maybe that had a hand in it's selling as slow as it did, but I really think that it's a brand thing, not necessarily a size thing in this case. But they sold for 70 bucks, and this buyer is $85.81 all in. They cost me $4.89, and they only took 5 months to sell. I love the brand LL Bean for resellers, especially if it is vintage and it is a utility like this. This is the second canvas bag that I've sold. The first one I sold for $85. This one I sold for $60. It's a little bit smaller than the other one. The other one was about 30 inches. This one went about 24 wide, and I still have 2 of these left to list. So this buyer is $79.98 all in. I think this cost either $6 or $7. And it took 3.5 months to sell. I'm not exactly sure why it took so long, but I do tend to price on the higher side with a lot of my exclusive items. So that's probably why this took a little bit longer, but $60 is a very fair price. And like I said, I got a couple more left to list. So another great sale. Keep your eye out for vintage LL Bean. If you see, not even just the green, but if you see canvas bags from that brand, do yourself a favor and look them up because a lot of them have value, not just the green color. Church sale purchase here, $10, could have been $20, but I think it was $10. The thing that made this wonderful is it came in its original box and its original styrofoam. So when it came time to ship it, I could be comforted in the fact that I knew it would probably arrive in the same condition I shipped it with all of those pieces. So a Yamaha Turntable P20, very vintage, and this sold for $129. This buyer is $166.79 all in, $10 I think. Buyer already left positive feedback, works perfect. I had video in my description showing that the item did work, and it only took 6 weeks to sell. So another good mover. These things will sell upwards of $200 if you find them. So $129 is probably a steal for this buyer. This also was in one of my thrift run videos. There are a lot of 6 of them. Safari Limited, I don't know if that's necessarily a BOLO brand, but when I was doing the comp research in store, I was pretty surprised at how well these figures sold. I have the larger ones. There are some of the smaller ones you will see selling lots for a little bit less, but this sold in 3.5 months for $55. I will take it. And again, the comp data was enough to push me over the edge to make the purchase. So this buyer is $78.98 all in, and I think they were $1 a piece. So it was only $6 total. Another lovely sale. All right, we have a food dehydrator here from Nesco. The style is FD-1040. They come with these round trays. Some of the listings you'll see have 6, some have 8. I had 6 or 8 of them, but a few of them were broken, so I had to pull those out and throw them away. I washed the rest of the interior. That left me with 4 trays, and when I got this listed, it sold the same day. So sold for $51. This buyer is $93.72 because it did go internationally, and I bought it for $8.99, but a really fast seller, and I still do have 1 more of these to list. So I'm happy to see this one go. They are a little bit on the larger side, but it really wasn't that difficult to ship and ship safely. So the main thing you want to pay attention to is the trays. Are they cracked or broken on the inside? Because they look very thin. You just have to pay attention to that. This is another awesome sale. All right, I sourced this at a garage sale. I was either $3 or $5, although I think she was charging me $5 for the Wilsons, and I bought a couple of Princes that were $3, so let's call this one $5. The Hyperion 7.0, I don't know the first thing about tennis, but I saw a sold comp in like this $50, $60 range for this, so I listed mine at $45. We were at the end of the season, and it sold for $45. This buyer is $68.34 all in, and it only took 4 days to sell, and I've already received positive feedback from the buyer. So perfect all around. I may have undersold it, but again, not knowing a lot about tennis and with where we are in, September and October, tennis may be more of a spring and summer sport. I priced it aggressively and it sold fast, but you know, you live and learn. $45 and only having spent $5 is perfect for me. I'm always trying to diversify my inventory, and that I think helps with the ebbs and the flows of the slow times during the course of the year when it comes to reselling. This is just another one of those items that, again, I don't know a ton about, but the sold comparables looked okay. I had mine priced, I think, pretty fairly at $33, and that is what it sold for. It is a vintage Mcgraw, tarnish-proof silverware chest. It was in excellent condition, and this buyer is $54.07 all in after shipping and after taxes. It only cost me $5, and it only took 1 day to sell, so it was a fast seller. If you happen to see these, they look like they sell pretty consistently between $30 and $40, so don't be afraid to grab it. Easy to ship, great sale. All right, I sourced these on Facebook Marketplace and I paid $100 for each one of them. I could have probably sold each one of these for $400 a piece, but I had them listed at $350 and they sold within like 5 minutes of it hitting my 50% off sale. So this buyer spent a total of $1,049.97 because they bought all 3 of them, and they are $1,129.40 all in. Like I said, $300 for me, and these sold in like 1 hour. So very, very fast seller. It's a Label Writer 450 Turbo. They were all brand new in the box in absolutely mint condition, including the boxes. And that was a fantastic, fantastic marketplace pickup because that would have put me under what I normally do throughout the course of the month. So 15 more BOLOs in the books. Hope you enjoyed those. Nothing else to see here. Thanks for watching. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the one-man show. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw or you learned something today, and then always consider becoming a member of the Dad Planet family by subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon so that you know every single time I upload a video to YouTube. But that is it. That's all I have for you today. Thank you once again. We'll see you in the next one.